Mike. It's Crypto Novo here taking over. Want to welcome all my aliens, apes, and zombies as I'm taking over for the NFT NYC Twitter handle. We'll let the room fill in. Got some background tunes here from some of my friends who helped me get to where I'm at in this space. So we'll get the room filled in here and get chatting here real soon. Welcome, all my aliens, apes, and zombies. It is Crypto Novo. Just getting some tunes playing there. That is from I Am Six. He helps along the way with a lot of many people in this space who has helped me. One, make a name for myself. Two, get out there to all these events. And if it's in the metaverse, if it's IRL, whatever it may be, and I Am Six is actually one of the artists who donated to the Novo Art Show, the GoFund Novo, to actually help reclaim CryptoPunk 3706 back to the owner. And a lot of that was in due part to an epic effort. And that effort definitely stemmed from collaborations met through NFT NYC, NFT London, and the NYC community, and it wouldn't have been such a epic movement if it wasn't for a lot of people. First off, just a little tidbits. I want to share art that was helped and shared around. One, thanks, Sweet Rebels. They did the emoji art that I shared about 6 hours ago on the NFT NYC Twitter handle. That was at 4:20 this morning Central Standard Time. So thanks for sharing that. Sweet Rebels has also contributed to just educating others using crypto art. As we can see on the top pinned tweet that you guys are all looking at, you can actually watch live video of what I'm talking about. And this is broadcasted live. Just wanted to give also some shout outs to other people who have contributed in other ways. Behind me, if you can see in the big picture, if I put myself on the big screen, I do have a new article, a rug right there. I got rugged the right way. Um, Rich class decor. That's what I've been trying to accomplish in this space, is make a name for all the artists. If it's Maskey over here who made the physical mask that's attached to the Wookiee suit, if it's the 64 artists that we'll be talking about who helped contribute to the GoFund Novo to get Crypto Novo back, CryptoPunk 3706. And even the frame is a hand custom made digital frame from Benzie at Benzie Studios with an S. And a lot of people, might not be able to be lucky enough to get a CryptoPunk. I was able to get it back in the day doing my research due diligence for relatively inexpensive. And people make derivatives underneath tons of art and art projects that make a name for themselves. So I just want to give a name for the people who have helped me out directly, including our co-hosts who are up here today. One being Dario, master artist and a contributor at NFT NFT London when I was there. And if you see the name of the Twitter spaces today, it is how a phone charger pretty much saved CryptoPunk 3706. We are all in this together. As a community, we support each other. A fundraising campaign was established to bring back a Web3 icon. Crypto Novo has been for years an amazing ambassador for CryptoPunks and Web3. He has fallen victim to a malicious link from a hacked Discord. Sadly, his punk has been stolen, and we are working together to help reclaim his iconic hat, clown nose punk that is his core digital identity. This campaign is much of a part of a movement as it is an effort to help one specific person. We all know that every day so many get scammed, but with this effort, we hoped to make the statement that our community is strong and we can make a lot happen in a short amount of time. People were able to mint a GoFundMe support token, which then got claimed, burned for one of 64 different artists who helped. And pretty much how it went down is my best friend, BeskRx, called me shortly after I was pretty much scammed and hacked. I lost 3 CryptoPunks. One, the iconic one that you're seeing my AR filter on, 3706, a hoodie CryptoPunk, the one that Beskar is sporting right now, which was a developer punk, 965, 2 Clone X's, 3 Meebits. The Meebits consisted of 2 pig Meebits and a robot Meebit that got minted from my CryptoPunks, and a Bored Ape. And it devastated me. And I didn't ask for anything in return, but Spotty Wi-Fi called me up and he says, Novo, I just want your blessing, because there is a movement going on right now, pretty much spearheaded by Dario. And Dario wanted to get a community effort going to see if they can fundraise to get CryptoPunk 3706 back. And my response, between the tears and the sadness that I was feeling, is yes. At this point, yes. I've given a lot to the community. I've tried to give in as much as I can to make a name for others. And this is the time that I needed to reach out and ask for help. So without further ado, Dario, mic check. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, what's up? Just arrived home, so need to say hi to the kids as well. But yeah, thanks for having me. Hope you're doing well.
Again, I wanted to thank you, because this all did stem, and feel free to, take care of the kids, because I know it's, about 6-7 hour difference here in Chicago than where you are located in the European time zone. And, that was one thing that is a true proven fact was that this is international Web3 world that has all helped us. And, you from across seas, different time zone has helped considerably in numerous amounts of ways, including organizing 64 artists, which we were happy to showcase and present not only in IRL locations, but also in the metaverse. And with this historic, task, it was something where there was Twitter Spaces that were presented for days, not only hours but days. We had epic long Twitter Spaces with not only major artists but collectors, fans, and people just wanting to learn what happened, sympathize because maybe they fell victim themselves to types of scams or hacks or malicious links that affected them and their financial status. So it was a true community effort that did branch globally. And this global activity actually did stem from NFT NYC. And what NFT NYC, NFT London did bring to the global landscape of connectivity and bringing everyone together in IRL fashion that might have not otherwise been subject to meeting each other outside of Discords, outside of Twitter DMs. And the connection that Dario and myself made was when it was the VIP dinner at NFT London, and we were just acquaintances, talked to each other, linked up, and it's like, yo, I gotta find a phone charger for my phone. And I'm like, hey, I have a battery. And the battery was actually attached to my backpack. I walk around with a digital mask on, and I have a digital backpack. And I have a battery that was the same as a phone charger battery, and I just detached it from the backpack and gave it to Dario so he could charge his phone up as we were meeting hundreds, if not there's probably 1,000, if not more. Yeah, most of the speakers were there, so it was probably a couple hundred, if not close to 1,000 speakers at the VIP dinner. Just networking, talking with each other, seeing what's going on within the space. Giving the hugs and handshakes and business cards or CryptoPunk stickers to each other, as far as being one community. And never have I imagined that small act of kindness, giving a phone charger to someone in need, a friend, someone that I met casually over Twitter DMs and enjoyed looking at his art, turned into pretty much a leader amongst large community members that got a CryptoPunk back for someone who pretty much looked at this CryptoPunk for hours on end. I'd spend more time staring at my own AR filter in business meetings than my own face in the mirror. So towards that, huge heart and love to you, Dario. I don't know if you're in a suitable space to chat right now, or for your family, but maybe a little bit about yourself, what you helped do within not only NFT London, but also within the Web3 community.
I need to take my headphones off.
No problem.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Headphones.
And as fast as I could hear you, I can't hear you right now, my friend. He's on mute.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. So yeah, I entered the NFT space really for me early, 2021, early 2021, and it was a great journey, and I had a lot of success moments, and I'm really comfortable in being being an artist and a father, and like just everything works out well for me. So when I heard about what's going on, I was kind of smashed because I first meet you at NFT London, and second we are kind of connected as CryptoPunk owners. So and I really just like genuinely like what you do and how you like to onboard a lot of new people to the space. So when I wrote you that I would like, if you need any help, just reach out to me. I just realized that it's kind of off because like maybe 100, 200 people will write the same thing. And after you wrote me back that is probably the end of me in Web3. Give me a second. Wow, mega schön. Da muss ich auch noch machen. Sorry, my little one is showing me something. So when this sentence come to me, like this is probably the end of me in Web3, that was like, okay, that should be not the case. Like someone like you who do so much for the space and like really try to push forward, leaving, that would be one of the baddest things. So I reached out to friends and asked if this is a good idea to do. And at the end, we was going for it, like 5 days of struggling with everybody who was around me and like everybody who helped. I wasn't even always in the space. So Ramborno and many others was always there hosting spaces when I was sleeping and like hold it up till the morning. And then we move on till like we had around like over 60 hours of spaces in 5 days. So at the end, 5 days to reach that, what was it, 78 ETH mark or something was amazing, and happy to be a part of it, and was a good kind of like workout, but also like I think when you like to do something and like kind of having an idea, that does not mean that you reach that goal, but I was really happy when we actually reached it, and was kind of proud about everyone who was a part of it.
Real quick, everyone listening in the room, give it a retweet, tell your friends, tag someone, because these epic tales are what the Web3 space is about. And, the very strong reasoning of what, community effort can do, and what NFT London pretty much did to help solidify, the unity that helped get a CryptoPunk back. I had zero expectations. Beskar X reached out to me early saying, we'll find some way that we can make Mint Pass to find some fundraising. And then it was like a couple hours later, Spotty Wi-Fi says, the wheels are kind of going. Like Dario has a list of artists who want to contribute derivative pieces, their own concepts based on CryptoPunk 3706, and they want to use those as the when the tokens are burned, to get the CryptoPunk back. And within a 5-day mark, 67 hours, I believe, in spaces, they accomplished that task. And for me, I was gutted, like totally gutted, where I was dealing with, like, in all honesty, it was, the truth of like, I couldn't continue in Web3 because I was using my high valued NFTs to sell to be able to afford to go to these events and to go and travel towards NFT NYC 2021, 2022, out to LA to, and all of my main goal is to help artists. I'm more of a collector in this space. I haven't created anything besides friendships in this space. And it culminated to the fact that we had 64 super artists that contributed to the show. And if you look up at the pinned tweet at the top right now, there's actual visuals on this of the Novo art show. So the GoFund Novo movement, it was a 5 days, and people contributed by minting by minting and or contributing in a number of different ways. And after they minted, that ERC 721 token got converted into one of 64 pieces. All the artists are there, even including other contributors and organizers to it. And it shows every single one of the pieces. Right now, I'm on www.ehamnft.com/novo art show. And with that, another huge person to help in all of this was being able to present these pieces visually in an IRL event, which was in Paris, actually. And Greta, would you want to test your mic and then give everyone a little introduction to yourself and how you are a key member in helping getting not only the CryptoPunk back, but showing off the artist, which is so dear to me since the beginning.
Hello, Novo, and hello, Dario. Do you guys hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah. Love to having you on.
Hey, good to see you. Good to have you here, everyone.
I can't hear her, Greta, sadly.
Oh, you can't hear me. Maybe I can just go out and come back. Or I think sometimes through space they do this kind of thing.
If you want to exit and come back in, we can invite you in, and I could talk about the art a little bit and some of the artists that were in there. And then we'll get maybe some thumbs up for people who can hear her live. But yeah, exit out, and we'll invite you back up here in a second. And the 64 artists were the 64 artists that were massive in the thought process. Is that it was a wide range of different type of art, from anywhere from physical art, from Masky making an actual physical crypto novo actual physical crypto novo mask, very similar to the one that he made that's over my shoulder right now. I'm multitasking, sorry, I can't get myself on the big screen. And also there is AI generated art. There was pixel art in there. There was, there we go. I'm trying to find and invite up my friends here. We got Gwendol, who helped in the minting, which we can talk with him about that. We'll invite up Dr. Crypto Novo, who is pretty much eyeing the Twitter spaces for me, and artists who helped contribute. Let's see, let's get Dario up here. And these were major friends and factors that we, linked in and were able to talk about at NFT London, just in casual conversations, which, led into, me getting this tassel hat back. Let's see. Where are we? Add is invite as co-host, send co-host invite. Yes. Let's see. And I was just thankful that there's people like Dario who is able to help organize it, because I honestly had a ton on my plate at that time. Just dealing with one, looking for a new job, because just prior to that, I was working at Vayner NFT, and was contract wasn't renewed. So I was looking for a job at the time. I was looking for how the best way of getting, a CryptoPunk back, multiple ones. What happened to the ETH? What happened? There's so many things that were going through my mind. Trying to invite Dario back up. I'm having troubles inviting him up as a speaker or as a co-host. But Greta, how about you see if you're if we can hear you now? I was able to hear you before.
Yeah, I keep inviting Dario, but also I can't do that because Dario goes.
Oh, all right, he's co-hosted up here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm giving up some hearts because I can hear Greta. If you can hear her as well, toss up those hearts. Retreat the room, and I'll pass the mic off to you.
All right. Thank you so much for your warm intro. Always, Novo. It's really amazing. Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Krida. Krida means to draw in South Korean. I'm Korean, but living in France, and I am a crypto art IRL exhibition curator. It's been 2 years since I created NFT art and crypto art exhibition in Paris, and that's pretty much it. My lifetime goal is making a crypto art in the next chapter of art history book. This is it. My study is art history, and I find digital art and next. This is the next movement of art history, and yeah, and a big key of NFT art is community. And as soon as I heard what happened to Novo, and I was there in Dario's room, I really found out that this should be the IRL exhibition driven by art, because many artists, community members, we really we are in part of this history and story, and we celebrated this art. And luckily, we had this NFT Paris wave, so we had to grab this. Thanks to Dario and Gwenda, and also Dr. Doge, he made, and Novo himself, they made amazing metaverse gallery connected to our gallery as well. And thanks to Mo from Ledger, they also supported the Ledger for self-security. So everything was so with the harmony, and that was really great. Yeah, that's it. I moved this microphone to Brenda and Darko, who was in the exhibition. So yeah, that's it. And good to hear you, Novo, again. Yep, thank you.
Thank you so very much for for the gallery space. We had we're looking at a nice warm pizza there from Pizza Dow that donated pizza. Like you said, everyone who attended the event IRL got a Ledger wallet from Ledger. My most thing is just like, and I was so FOMO because I wasn't able to there to make it there IRL. Was just seeing.
We need to give you in New York, so we have yours.
Yes, and just seeing all the art on the wall, it was just like amazing, and like seeing the artists too, being able to go in there and seeing their own art hanging on a physical wall is a first for a lot of the artists in an epic location, especially in Paris. And it transformed them as well. It gave a lot of artists opportunity. It was a magnification, an amplifier effect where different artists were able to, ping off of each other, off of unfortunate circumstances. But the silver lining was a common goal that got all of the art shown, as you said, in multiple metaverses. We were in On Cyber, we were in NFT Oasis, we are in Neos VR. We have it lined up in Decentraland as well. We have a fully interactive experience within that. And, a huge part of that, I'm going to rewind a little bit. That's kind of back to like the minting process, and just like, I know really nothing about it. And to have, key players in the space like Wendell come in, offer time, energy to produce, I believe, the website for it and the minting process. Gwendol, how are we doing?
Hey, how is it going, everyone? Sorry, I'm outside. It may be a bit noisy.
Well, I hope you're outside enjoying. I can hear you fine. I hope you're outside enjoying the good weather. I'm on spring break in Chicago, and it's snowing here. So I hope you're doing well.
No, it's pretty cold in Paris, and no strike today. It's sort of the revolution here right now. Yeah, today is quite quiet. But yeah, glad everything is going well, and yeah. So yeah, just to introduce myself quickly. So I'm Gwendal. I'm an entrepreneur creator in the space, and yeah, I helped out when I see what happened to you a few months ago, creating one collection with a fellow Web3 creator, Frank NFT. I don't think he's here, and we created a collection where you could mint pixels of the CryptoPunk. the Novos Punk. So we did little collection like this, and yeah, we basically just all collaborated together to raise funds to get the punk back. Yeah, did a couple of like website to summarize everything going on. So it was a fun. I mean, not fun for you, but on the creative aspect, I'm really glad to have seen everything that was all the initiatives taking place to help recover your punk. So yeah, creatively and on the community aspect, it was really an interesting moment.
Yeah, it was extremely interesting. Like I couldn't even fathom how these things like come together. Not only that, how it came together so quickly, and it's almost the community of everyone. It was CryptoPunk owners that were just kind of. It was almost people are just kind of like just pissed off in a sense, and they wanted to stand up and do something about it. And you're selling yourself short, and also I'm showing it right now. Frank NFT underscore ETH that really stepped up and put some time and effort into creating a website for it, creating a contract for it, finding the best way that people can burn it and get art after the fact. And, piecing it all together and pretty much out of the goodness of your heart. You guys could have done that with your other projects, but you decided to do it for one of your own community members. And it just touched my heart that you guys forged ahead and were able to really piece it together, and it just shows almost like how like a governance coin where people vote on things to happen, just the community effort of you guys just pulling it together, like, well, we're going to get it back, we're going to create everything we can do, and then just collectors and other artists being able to piece it together to make it a formidable project that people wanted to collect. And I never expected that. And it, again, comes back to collectors and artists working together for a common goal. And that's all making a name for ourselves. Another person that I was able to meet at NFT London, and he actually designed right outside of, I don't know if it's a DGen arcade party or a Wag Me beer party, but he actually hand drew some art for me, and that was the first time that I was able to meet up with Darko. And I don't know, maybe Darko is the one that actually was able to get the pizzas from Pizza Dow, because I think he's linked in with Pizza Dow. But just the many facets of people who help out in the space. Darko, how are you doing? Maybe a quick story on how we met IRL for the first time, and you're able to do some quick Crypto Novo art for me, and which turned into a Pizza Dow. Oh my gosh, look at it. I have it right here. I have it hanging up right here. Let's see if I can do this without doxing myself. Here's your art right here. I got to pull it up on the big screen. If you can look up at the top pinned tweet right here, I actually have it. It was actually within arm's reach. I have collectible incentive. There it is. That's the one that you made. And on the back, bam, there's your QR code going into helping yourself out here. Darko, we're advertising right now, live and direct for you. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, no, it's so nice to hear you. You sound a lot better than the last time we spoke. So I'm glad to hear that you're feeling great and that you're smiling. So yeah, I mean, when Dario and Hydro contacted me, like about what happened, so we can help out like with anything, I jumped in right away. And I am part of Pizza Dow, and Snacks was definitely jumping right on to help with sponsoring the event as much as we can. So it was a pleasure, man. And like anything that we could help with, like to help out with what happened with your punk, we were totally up for it. So glad to be part of this, and like this is part of history. So Dario, Glendale, and everyone that were involved, like congrats, everyone. Congrats.
It was an epic movement, and it would be absolutely nothing if it wasn't for artists like Dario, people who can curate, put stuff together like Greta and Ehem, without people who actually know how to write smart contracts, which is a different type of artists with Gwendol. And the list can go on and on. We had street artists like Laurel Masna, who is like tagging my CryptoPunk up through Paris as, NFT Paris was going on. Dr. Crypto, who was someone who was a collector and actually contributed art to it, a lovely piece, which he, I believe, photographed from Australia, and just how the different artists came together to pretty much support a collector. Because that's what I was. Oh, look, I'm going down, and you have something about Justin Aversano here, and that was one of the first pieces I collected. Was Smoke and Mirrors. You retweeted it March 9th. And just the whole aspect of Justin Aversano was one of the first friends that I had in the space that I collected, and that was a network that I was able to strengthen through NFT NYC, and that's where it goes. If you're looking on the screen right now, I'm wearing my NFT NYC hoodie from 2021, where I was an MC, and I wanted to go up and talk about the artists and the people that I collected and the cool people I met in the space. And 90% of them were the artists and other collectors that were like-minded individuals. And it eventually led into a connection through a coworker, a former coworker, over at Vayner, Create Train, who was just like, yo, you got to meet my good friend Darko, when you're out in London. And I'm pretty recognizable when I walk into a place. And even before I reached the doors, I saw Darko standing there, and it was just hit it off right away. And then within seconds, he's like, yo, I got something for you. And I'm like, what do you got? And he just started creating it right there. I mean, he pulled it out of his pocket, pen and paper, and did a self-portrait of Crypto Novo right there that I just showed again. So, Darko, how about talk about, just the artist's culmination of creating a Novo art show. And because we stopped it at 64, but we had dozens and dozens after the initial Genesis creation that wanted to add and contribute to the art. Maybe a little bit about like your interpretation of why you wanted to create art based around CryptoPunk 3706.
I mean, like when Dario got in touch with me about like what we do, I was like, let's do it. And like the first idea that came like for the piece, at least that I was creating, was I felt like broken. I couldn't imagine like how you felt, so that's why I did like the defragmented, the deconstructed piece of CryptoNovo Punk. So I was going for creating like something that can be fixed and put back like a puzzle. So that was the idea behind the piece, and I believe that everyone that was working on the piece, on their pieces, from the works that I saw, looked like they were definitely trying to grab the essence of the space, like to either show the dark side or the bright side, which a lot more to the bright side, and to support you a lot as much as possible. And what we saw, like when we saw all those pieces in EHAM Gallery, it was just amazing. Like it looked really, really, really nice. Like you could see the support, like you could feel the energy, and the people and the energy there. Everyone that was gathered there were gathered for a good cause, and the energy was fantastic.
Greta, go ahead.
Yeah, if I just add a few things, when we did the opening in our gallery, I Am Gallery, people just came, and we talk about what happened to Novo, but actually it was kind of warning, but at the end it was a festival at the same time. So for me, looking at this phenomenon was very interesting, because it started with kind of tragedy, but the way to celebrate for our succeeding, let's say, mission, that was at the end very much positive. And I think it's related to your character novel, really thanks to you. Because of that, all the people could really stick to you by your energy. So that was, the artwork was really like that. The main character had this energy. So based on that, the art is also, warning, but having fun at the same time. So as a creator, looking at all these artworks and seeing this whole spectrum was very meaningful. And at our finale was when we had a call with you, right? The last, almost at the last moment when we had a call with you with distance. And I kind of added on our comment on this Twitter post. If you see the comments below, our friend Nizar, he filmed all the opening speech with you, and you could see. So yeah, just wanted to say that it was very warm. Yeah, thanks to you, and thanks to all the artists here, and thanks to Darko who brought pizza, thanks to Mo who brought the ledger, thanks to Dario, yeah, and Gwenda making all these things, and thanks to, I don't think scamming, but thanks to Noble really making this symbol. Thank you so much.
Well, again, back to the community effort. First of all, I love the down there in the right hand corner. If you're listening, Nazar, with that, actually, I hit retweet and then I forgot I'm not actually on my own Twitter handle, and I don't want to, shill too many things here at NFT NYC since I'm on their Twitter handle. But definitely take a look at it, because I had FOMO about not being able to make it out to Paris, and we had. I actually got offered flights out to Paris to go out there and be there with NFT NYC community member Larry Deschevnin, and he offered to fly me out to be at my own show. But it was important to me to be in the metaverse and bring that aspect to it, and that was a culminating piece. I was in VR, I was in AR, talking to people in Paris in a metaverse environment that was exactly the same as the physical environment, obviously with the VR bells and whistles. But that was like a revolutionary step within this game, within this Web3 game. And now it has been done, and it can be done over and over. And, for NFT NYC, I know Dario and Grita, you guys cannot make it. And a lot of friends over that are over at NFT NYC aren't able to make it. But my friends in the States and my friends that can make it, we're looking for that energy and looking for that experience. And that's what I'm trying to drive home when I go to these events, and be that inspirational talking piece that, it is a rags to riches, back to rags story. And it is life, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to be real with everyone and how it went down. And right now I'm being real with telling it what's happening in the space and how it is from the beginning, from my standpoint. And I've been fortunate to have these connections and friends, because there are major people that had major NFTs taken from them, and no one said boo, no one rallied behind them, no one got their NFTs that are in feature films back, no one ran to them offering to put it together. And I didn't ask for it. It was presented and brought to me through friends. And a lot of those friends are people that I met at NFT NYC, which is trying to culminate that with everyone in their environment, with how they present the artists in the artist gallery, with how they present the speakers on stage with panels, and giving people opportunity, including yours truly, Crypto Novo. So you'll see in a lot of the tweets today of me doing mic drops. Yeah, I do that. I think it's a performance now. Maybe that is the craft of art that I do, is try to motivate people by doing something different, by dressing like your PFP, by, talking about events, being truthful, by walking around giving hugs and handshakes. And like, those are honest things. Like I can feel when someone hugs me back, if they're, if they're excited to see me, if they're weirded out, or if they just don't like hugs. I'm a good judge of character, and it goes down and down from the wacky wabbits, which I've met plenty of times, and I love how you dress IRL, to the wacko worms that will be following me around and documenting the process that happens in this NFT NYC space. And, to further express my friends like Dr. Crypto, who, has turned himself into an artist in this space. And Laurel Masna, who's up here right now. And Laurel, you're one of the artists who not only donated a piece to the Novo Art Show, but you also did physical street art with it in Paris, and you're also going to be doing it in New York. You want to maybe talk about all of that? I mean, another brick in the wall if you want.
For sure. What's up, Novo? What's up, Dario? Great, everybody here. I see a bunch of familiar faces. Yeah, man, it's been a wild ride, and I started painting CryptoPunks with you on a YouTube channel with 3 people on it for 2 hours, and we are just joking around, and so that means a lot to me personally, and for me to be able to be in Paris showing at a show. It was like I needed to go and do what I do, which is my job, which is painting in the street. So I went and I found a spot, and that was my main attraction to go to Paris. I didn't really go to all the tourist things or much else, but it's because that's my job and that's what I do daily, and it's an honor to rep you. And I was about to say, what, you didn't go to Paris, but I did see one punk walking around with his mask like a punk and keeping. So there was like that next wave of people that are dressing up as punks we're already seeing them. You were in Paris, but like in the resurrection version. Yeah, man. So that's a little bit of it. The bricks in the wall closed minting yesterday. We did over 500 mints selling graffiti that hasn't been painted yet with the utility of on the street. You know, this is groundbreaking. I gotta say big thank you to also all of the organization of this show and bring it and not inviting me because I paid for my own things, but you know, really doing this whole thing for the community. I then painted a Cryptonova in Amsterdam in a place where it's like an abandoned just an abandoned space in the middle of Amsterdam. It's the Secret Garden. People should go and check it out if they're there. And because it's a free beat, like I just did it because I had the same spray paint from Paris, and we were in the same track of talking about Novo, and there's like tourists, like 40 or 80 tourists that go in there every day. And I told the story of Novo, and I put the punk number, and I told them that this is like a security important story that they should check it out. So now all these tourists are getting told the Novo story, and that's the power of graffiti. And that's what I was proposing with the wall that I did 2 years ago as a guerrilla tactic before the first NYC NFT. So I didn't finish school. I've always worked in the street selling my art and stuff. So my approach wasn't to apply for NYC NFT, but I'm just going to make something impactful outside in the environment that we all live in and hope it makes sense. And 2 years later, is this viral wall that represents the space. And I'm just super grateful for all the people that I met in Europe along this trip that took part in the mint and are now going to be in the wall. And it's it's really cool to be able to represent a wider audience than just the little NFT bubble that is in the US. But it's really cool to see how many builders there are, how many people have their own marketplaces, and how many people are just like that. It's beautiful to see the NFT just from so many sides. So that's a little bit about it. And I will be painting the wall. I'll be there all April, like the first couple of weeks of April. So make sure people come through and say hello. And that's about it.
That's the one thing that people don't fully understand is the range and economic impact that these Web3 shows have within a community. And it might not be direct tickets sold, ticket holders, people in the artist gallery that are going to be in the Javits Center, but also the satellite events. One of the tweets here at NFT NYC is, over 70 events going in and around right there. But like, I remember you arriving at the EHM gallery outside front, and it was like closed down. It was super late at night, and you're like, I think I'm gonna go grab some paint. And I had no idea. And then the next morning, I'm looking at the picture right now on one of your tweets, and it's actually from some other person. It's from Ina, 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 and she's actually going to be at NFT NYC. Ina Gershawu. And she walked by and just randomly saw CryptoPunk 3706. And I don't think the 3706 was on there. I think another street artist came by and added 3706 because it was like right down the street from him. And then scrolling back up there is that iconic piece. And you went to Death Defying Heights. There's like a 50-foot ladder, and you're on the top floor of a 3-story building tagging Crypto Novo up there in Amsterdam. And I saw the video of the iconic like back alley corridor that is dedicated to street art. And and I know how it is where like those are protected pieces. Those are valued pieces within communities because the community members within the street artists have, have no knots to go over someone else's artwork. And Laurel Mosnow, thank you for, contributing to the Novo Art Show, contributing to the street art. When you guys are out at NFT NYC and you're looking for something to do, go by the gallery, which Laurel Mosna has created on the side of a freaking building. It's nuts. And then not only that, it can also be seen in the metaverse as well. He has the Brooklyn Wall in the metaverse with all the artists there. So again, helping where I can, spreading the love of an OG that's been with me since day one, that tagged up a crypto punk in New York and is now it's global, South America, Central America, Paris, man, Amsterdam, New York, much love and thank you for all that, my friend. And the list can go on and on, from the people who are down there listening that I've been able to meet. Thomas, I created art with you at NFT London. And that was probably the first piece of art I've ever created like on an iPad. And you're able to convert that into your signature collection where everyone's able to take a same template and create their own vision of it. VR Punk, I see you down there. Thanks for all the love on the retweets. We are in VR. I do have Crypto Novo as a CryptoPunk in VR. I'm going to try to get that on later tonight, maybe 9 p.m. this evening, pulling in Dr. Doge and IM6 in VR. And then also for a programming note, I will be on with my power panel, NFT NYC power panel, where we have Larry D from NFT Oasis. He's also a writer for Rolling Stone magazine. He has a producer behind a whole bunch of songs, which I believe include the Beach Boys. The astronaut Mike Mango will be around. Avery Piper, there again, a friend from back in the day, NFT NYC 2021. And we're going to see if Spotty Wi-Fi can join us in about 3.5 hours at, I guess we'll talk about Eastern time zones. This is NFT NYC. So about 3 p.m. Eastern from there. But, I see that we have our good friend, Frank NFT _ETH. There again, helping with the SaveNovo.com website and the minting. Frank, what's going on? Mike Check, how are you?
Hi, GM. Yeah, sorry for being late, but I was hooked up in a conversation. But suddenly I realized that I needed to be here. Yeah, doing well. Also preparing to travel to New York in 2 weeks. So I'm making some art for a change instead of contracts. So that's also good.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it's almost, some of these are live business meetings since I haven't been able to catch up with you in a while. So what are you looking forward to when you're going to go to NFT to New York in a couple of weeks here?
Yeah, well, I'm a speaker again, so I'll be on. I have a panel this time that we're talking about the future of NFTs. My part there is about the soulbound tokens. So I created a speech, but they didn't want to get me solo this time, so they put me on a panel. But I'll give the speech in Tallinn. I'll give him solo, which is soulbound tokens, the future of identification and recognition. So I'll try to put some of those accents also into my panel talk. But I still have to do a meeting with the other guys to see what they are planning to talk about, so that we can build something coherent in that 20 minutes.
And that's a huge aspect of NFT NYC London is like getting linked in with those other panelists, which, eventually start turning into, you do some business meetings with them as far as figuring out what we're going to talk about, how the panel is going to look, how the panel is going to work. And same thing for me, which I enjoy, is being up there on a panel, and I see we have Mike listening down there, and he'll be on shortly, but we'll definitely invite him up because it's all about the contributing factors of getting that message out there, and for you helping getting a message of community and getting pretty much one of the staple foundational pieces of Web3 is having that contract written out there for, in my case, people turning it in for art, and how art was able to be the solidifying piece in fundraising for a particular cause. And this was such a, people keep calling it a historic event, a movement, because it took many pieces and it took many alpha within the space to help contribute. And now you're able to take those learnings that you've helped contribute it with this community and speak forth and talk about it on a panel in front of other people, and inspire other people to maybe do the same thing in the future, or go down their own path of, like you're saying, now you're able to create art. Talk about this art that you're creating.
Well, basically, I started as an artist in the NFT scene, but I quickly learned I was worth more as a developer. But my whole purpose was to put more art in the NFT scene. Now the whole contract business is running quite good, and so I can make some more time to put it back into art. And so lately I'm doing a lot into video. I always have been doing animation video, and for NFTs I'm going into ASCII art that is animated. So small videos that are completely made in ASCII art, animated.
I love it. Any type of pushing the envelope, trying to stay 2 steps ahead, bringing animation into it. As you can tell how I use this AR filter for hours on end. And that was, part of the hardest part of when I, the deep thoughts of losing a CryptoPunk. It was like I pretty much was losing my shadow in this whole thing. Not only a personal PFP, not only an NFT, but just like my own personal shadow. And being able to share art and create art from an artist standpoint, you're able to see those particular art pieces in other people's collections, and for you to turn it into animation, gives people opportunities. And that's what I'm seeing in the space is the AR filter has given me opportunity to branch me into Decentraland, where I'm able to, host parties in Decentraland and have other artists show off their pieces in Decentraland where they might have not been able to in the past. And then bridging that now just most recently and showing off an art gallery in VR, where a lot of artists might not be able to get their art hung in an IRL event, which we were able to accomplish through the Go Fund Novo movement. And then how that transpired into people who can't make the IRL event, including myself, and turning it into an immersive experience that will live forever in virtual reality. And this virtual reality can also just be on your simple laptop. So, it can just be pulled up. It's also on cyber, so it can just be right on your phone. It could be on NFT Oasis, so it's on your phone but still wallet connected. So there's multiple facets to make this into an immersive and a kind of like an Avatar X. That's what I'm trying to create. Crypto Novo to is an Avatar X. I see that Mike, how's it going? I know that you'll be attending NFT NYC. I'm not sure if you're going to be on a panel with myself and Larry and Spotty Wi-Fi. I want to see if your mic's working, and how have you been doing, and also your efforts towards helping me get my CryptoPunk back.
Crypto Novo. Hey, I got a new pair of AirPod Pro. They sound good. They're all right.
I hear you just fine. Thanks for checking. Mike sounds wonderful.
Mic check. So yeah, I'm actually doing a main stage talking about AI, and I'm going to be with you. Like, that's a joy because you're one of my peer titans. You're a personal hero in the way that you show up, and that's what matters to me, is how a person shows up. Not just about success or sales or even success in art. It's how we are as people to one another. And I got to witness you live, I think, at NFT NYC last year, and then at NFT London. Yes, and you're legit, and that's why when your PFP got scandaled, I was clear and adamant. Either CryptoNovo gets his PFP back, his punk back, or I'm done. I mean, I was clear as a bell, and everybody consolidated, and the community rallied. We see it happen again and again. The community rallied. That's us. That's Web3. And because of that moment, CryptoNovo, I changed my whole outward facing visage, how I appear, how I show up. And when people show up inadequately, who are friends and peers of mine, I call them forth, because I'm Web3. And that's how I self-define. When I grew up in hip-hop, I'm a full-grown adult. And when I grew up in hip-hop, it was the exact same thing. If somebody came up faulty, we called them forth. Step into a higher version, a better version of yourself, because a person is coming up short. And I expect my friends and my peers to hold me to at least that same accountability. And when it comes to Web3, the reason that is because presently I can't invite friends and family into Web3. I've already gone that route. And I've had people that I've invited into Web3 lose goods because I can't cover all the bases. And that's where we're at right now. That's because of your CryptoNovo, your punk, your iconic punk getting taken, and the way that people showed up after that, because a lot of people, their first response was it in a ledger, which is an inadequate response. My first response was reaching out to you and make sure you're okay. And that was super important to me. It gets me choked up just thinking about it. And because I can't afford to lose a CryptoNovo in my life. And you and I had conversation about that. And then the other people felt the same way clearly because of where we are today. And that's the Web3 I'm here for. So because of that situation and because of the stance I took, other security companies and people reached out to me with solutions to what all. And I took a bunch of interviews, actually. Like I let people explain their thing to me. And then I aligned with this company, Foolproof, and I'm as an advisor. And just like, okay, so I just want my friends to keep their stuff. That's it. Web4 is keeping our stuff. That's it. And then I can invite people in and this is sort of the lead up to NFT NYC coming up. To me, this is the most important event of the year, NFT NYC. And I will reach out to people who are friends and peers of mine and who I see like flooding it or downplaying it or asking, should I be there? I can only tell you the personal advantage that I've gained in my lifestyle, in my way of being, by showing up at NYC every single time. And so last week we just did NFT LA, and there was the exact same sort of conversation. Do I go to NFT LA? Do I not? And everybody who showed up, it was unbelievable. It wasn't like it was packed, not by any stretch. It was slim, for sure. It wasn't inadequate, though. It was adequate. It was great. You can tell by the pictures, all the Titans were there. It was a great way to meet people who inspire me every single day. Like I got to spend time with the people who I love. Eddie Ganglin, Swopes, Gabe Weiss, Sabat, Betty, like all of the people that I got to see people that I don't care to talk to and even say hi to them. And then I got to meet people who are creating things that we haven't even imagined yet. That's part of Web3 too. So one of the reasons I'm here, CryptoNovo, is because the thinkers that are here, moving us forward into the future, like those people always show up. The ones who are smarter than us. I love being in the room with the people that are smarter than me. And that's NFT NYC. Oh my gosh. So I wrote the other day, like in one of these DGen groups that I'm in, brain process MFR room. And that there's two kinds of people. The ones who go to NFT, who figure out how to get to NFT NYC, who make sure that they're present at NFT NYC. And then the people, it's like, I didn't want those grapes anyway. They're probably sour. Those are the two. NFT NYC is like the people behind it. I saw this kid I know and celebrate. His name's Shit Brains. He's 15. I helped him to get into the high school that he's in right now. He wrote the other day this whole like skating thing, like he's like all of his 15-year-old points about why NFT NYC is not the thing. And I wrote back to him that I said, hey, Pro, I wrote back to my DM because I don't need to call him for it publicly. I said, Pro, you and I met because of NFT NYC. You walked up to me on the street because you saw my badge. And then you came backstage when I got on stage with the founders of NFT NYC. You came up on stage with me. Just because you ghosted, you rode the jet stream, but I saw that you were legit. And I let you ride the jet stream because I'm here to celebrate and rise up other people. And that would not have happened if it wasn't for NFT NYC. And then one of his points was that like there's 1,600 people and 1,600 speakers, and they get this amount of time, and you have to do this to catch all of them, all of this crazy good math. I'm glad he's doing math. And I got to point out to him every single one of those 1,600 people at NFT NYC, and yeah, everybody who's listening right now, carry this forward. Every single one of those 1,600 builders, creators, artists that are speaking at NFT NYC, they all got VIP passes, no charge. Is this not the people we want running these conferences? Or is it exactly who we want running these conferences? The people who put up a crypto no vote. I'm about this. Like, I live Web3. I love it. I embrace DGen. When DGen is cool and legit and respectful and responsible and kind and helpful. Not when someone's sniping out from under me or intentionally coming in to FUD up on a project so they can bring it down, catch the floor, and then bring it back up. I will call that play out. I will step forward to a person and call them forth when they FUD somebody like you or me or any of us in the audience who's been here and creating, and we put our heart and soul into a project, and some anon, not like all of us who are out here doing it. Some anon who's got an account that's verified last month comes through with a couple buddies, FUDs the project, scoops the floor, and then resells when it boosts back up. I'll call that force. And at NFT NYC, I am proud to say I meet friends and family there every year. And I hope to meet you there if you haven't been there this year. Tell your friends, NFT NYC is legit. Pow, pow, pow.
I wasn't at the first South by Southwest. Good friend Beskar X was. And when him and I went to NFT NYC 2021, he said it was the exact same vibe. Just a bunch of really smart aliens, apes, and zombies in the same room, like-minded individuals that wanted to grow and do something. And when he came back from South by Southwest, whatever year that was, he's like, look, you can tweet from Facebook. And I didn't know what either one of those things were at all. And I'm not even on Facebook right now, to tell you the truth. But like seeing where that is and culminating right now is exactly what you're talking about, Mike, is just the energy in there, and just the energy of, here's a good story. I don't know if you remember this. I definitely do. It was probably like 3:30 in the morning in London, and you're getting off of the elevator, and I was getting on the elevator at the ground floor of, I forgot where we were staying, but it was like the old Parliament building. So it was like staying like in an old castle. It was crazy. And you're getting off, and we see each other, and you're like, yo, I'm hungry. And I'm like, I just walked the streets of London, and I was probably just getting back from with Wacko Worms, as I think we were walking back from a gathering. And you're out looking for just any type of meal, because 3 a.m. subtract 6-7 hours is right around dinner time for us in the States. And you're coming off the elevator and you're like, where's the food options? I'm like, there's really no fast food anywhere in London. Us spoiled Americans, I guess you can say. But, still walking around in downtown London, just having that interaction is something that I will always remember. Seeing a soon to be astronaut with upside down sunglasses, spectacles, glasses, coming off an elevator, and then a CryptoPunk walking on the elevator. I would have loved just to been a fly on the wall. Not only that, but it was like in an old Parliament building, so it's historic in a sense. And I can tell by the energy that you always bring on stage, emceeing, paneling, all that it is about that, and it is going to turn into Web 4. I've always been a firm believer it's going to come down to what wallets can do to help us all. And I don't know if that's going to be the next phase of iPhones, the next phase of whatever's happening in the space of how you can hold something. But if you see now in our regular banking institutions in the States here, like, you're only covered up to so much, even with those things that are allegedly backed through our government up to a certain amount. So, like, you always got to be careful of what you're looking at and you're getting into. Another community member that I've always seen, and they've always been very approachable. That's what I try to be in the space, is the most approachable person. Usually you come up to me, you get a sticker, you get a hug and a handshake, and someone that I've usually connected with at some aspect. Either they've been on my show, they have an NFT connected to an NFT project that I have been with. But the Bad Wabbits NFT, I always go and I try to seek out, because just like other, like Mazna, Laura was talking, other NFT projects, people dressing like their NFTs, Bad Wabbits dresses with the ears all day long. And so when you're sitting in the conference, you see the ears poking up in the crowd. It's a perfect sales tactic, but like there again, it's the energy behind it. Bad Wabbits, I'm not sure. There's so many people. Are you speaking at NFT NYC 2023 here, my friend? Is your mic working?
Yes. What up, my boy? I am speaking, and I that's the reason I came up. I just wanted to say, shout you out. I'm gonna say I will see you again. I've been seeing you like every event, and you're right, boy. Like, it was been an amazing experience, and I just wanted to say publicly. So I want to say to you, but publicly, that like the reach that you have is shown behind what happened with your punk. Like, I remember I reached out to you PM, and I don't know why I had this feeling like Crypto Novo, like he's like an iconic person in this space. Like the community, it was proven, right? They rallied behind you, and then you got your punk back in 6 days. But like the spaces, bro, just the people, and I'm talking about my own community. I'm talking about a small group of Latin Spanish speaking people that know you, that you have personally reached out to. I mean, your reach just goes so far, bro, and it's honestly like the representation of what Web3 is. And like you said, it's like you meet people and you give them a hug, and it's all like the vibes are super cool. Another thing I wanted to shout you out a little bit is that you give people like myself that really don't have a voice the opportunity to have that voice. Like, you do your own research, you prepare super well when you do your presentations, and you gave me the opportunity not once but twice to be on your show. And that to me goes super far. And like when this whole thing happened with the punk, with the crypto punk, I was like, I kind of knew that this boy is going to get his stuff back, because like he's just impacted this community so much. It's going to be really hard for someone to try to like promote and use their crypto punk without them knowing it's yours. You know what I'm saying? Because you put so much work into it. And I just wanted to throw you your flowers and shout you out. And I'm super excited to see you in NTYC. I will be at the speaker dinner. I will be there. You will see me in the bunny ear, so I'll be really easy to spot. And bro, I'm just excited to see you again. It's going to be litty like a titty.
Man, I enjoy it. I love the power that you always bring. We'll definitely have to zoom in for it's going to be an annual selfie. I mean, this is the third, maybe even fourth time that we're doing this together. So I appreciate all the energy and love that you bring. And it's also like seeing the growth within your guys' community. And I've been trying to help make a name for everyone in the space, very similar to what you were saying. It's just like, I see Spotty Wi-Fi listening down there. We're going to hopefully have him on a little bit later today when he has some free time. But it's just like following in the footsteps of artists similar to Spotty Wi-Fi, who not only is trying to make a name for him or herself or whatever alien, ape, or zombie, but others, and trying to redefine the music industry so others can monetize on their hard work and not have
And
to.
crushing. Spotty Wi-Fi is crushing.
Unbelievable. So here's live business meeting right now, and this could be alpha or whatever it is. So Spotty, we have to work on it, but I asked if you can possibly, after our panel, like the last couple minutes, just perform a song. And I know I haven't run that by you. This is stuff we can talk about later, but turning that into a power panel. So each one of us can talk about the strengths of the community, but two, to get your voice out there, because I've been a strong advocate of you as what you're trying to establish as owning your IP rights as Spotty Wi-Fi and trying to give that mic in your hand stage presence, which you've done at historic rates. Yeah, every time I'm turning around, you're at a Web3 event, trying to push the name, trying to make it a name for other people's projects as well. And sometimes putting your own craft aside to help other projects out. So small way of giving back. I know at the last time we were in New York at NFT NYC, we tried to get you performing on Radio City Music Hall. Things didn't work out, but maybe this is what we can do on the main stage. So maybe a little alpha, a little live business meeting there. And we can.
Spotty, I'm chaos upon the verse. Interplanetary energy brings this cosmic refugee to get deep. Metamorphosizing funk comes on levels of my bass and my treble is strictly tied in. Pow. That's a great idea. I want to see Spotty Wi-Fi rapping on stage. Crypto Novo.
Well, you might have to have the intro. You might have to pass the mic to the the lyrically minded astronaut ourselves before handing it over to Spotty Wi-Fi. So
Space Plus.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll mic drop it. I'll jump it off the stage. I'll jump off the stage because I have stuff to give to the crowd. You can introduce Spotty because we'll be on stage, and he can just do his thing. We can just enjoy it like a big ass party.
No, you're the hype man. You're Flavor Flav of this super group.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to get myself a big old clock then. I want to rewind it down to NFT London, where I was graciously able to not only hang out with, first of all, meet Art Jedi for the first time, dear friend. Many hours, just private conversations, trying to see how we can better forge this Web3 space, but also getting invited to Art Jedi's rave, where I was able to go with a bunch of CryptoPunk friends, a bunch of CryptoPunk V friends that I was able to meet there. And one thing that I realized is one, I'm old, because when you walk into a rave and in London, you just have to be 18. Like, I don't know. I felt a little weird just because people are super young. And
Old. I was old at that rate.
Frank, you know how it is. But here's the thing. But here it is, Frank. Here's the thing is when I walked around, people looked at me like I was the coolest thing ever. And I knew I was doing the right thing because I was turning heads. I had aliens, apes, and zombies of all genders, transgenders, whatever they may be, wanting to take selfies with me, doing what are you? What are you dressed as? But this is cool as F. Your shoes are out of this world. What you're sporting is ridiculous. And I was sporting exactly. Tony Herrera's brother-in-law made me a CryptoPunk suit. And if you look up at the top tweets up there, it's the NFT NYC wearable. And if you just drop your Ethereum address in there, you can get one of those wearables for free. You can sport it around Decentraland. And I have the physical clothes of that. And I was dressed there. And it was all because Art Jedi, just, again, community effort. And there's a huge long line to get into this place. But since we were part of Art Jedi's crew, we were able to walk right into this multi-story rave that probably had like 1,800, 2,000 people in it, like 4 or 5 DJs. I'm not a drinker, but had 8 or 9 bars. I was able to get water whenever I wanted. But Art Jedi, how about if I want to first see if your mic works. 2, you spread the love of what you're working on now. But 2, 3, what NFT London has meant to you and NFT NYC as well.
Gosh, you make me sound so cool. That was too much party, wasn't it?
that was a culmination of partying for multiple days in a different time zone, but then also like capping it off at like, I think that was the last one. Like you had your own private DJ that was very Web3 savvy that I was able to talk with outside in the streets with a bunch of other CryptoPunk owners. And man, that was just a dope rave.
I want to say, first of all, it's so amazing to see you back and just hear you literally like the old days. And yeah, it definitely was a joint effort, a community led by Dario. But a lot of friends came together, and this was not one person, could not have been done by one person. What is a one person in this community, right? It has to be a community effort. So a big thanks to everybody who was seen and not seen, who was on stage and off stage, who bought the works, who tweeted, retweeted, everything counts. So it's not a matter of, I absolutely fucking hate people who get on stages and kind of get visibility and then don't acknowledge other people. And I know I'm not in the company of those people. I just want to point out that it's a massive effort on everybody's part, and every grain of sand counts towards building the kingdom, building the beach. Mike, I want to push back a little bit. I absolutely love you and adore you, and one of my dearest friends. I'm not coming to NFT NYC, and here's the reason. And it's nothing against the organizers. I do feel they probably at some point need to sit down and maybe have a little chat with the community in terms of what the community wants and how can they do this better. I think inviting so many speakers all at once and not having the attendance, and also not paying the speakers. I don't know, this whole thing's a bit convoluted. You are the leaders of this space. You can either go with it or you can sit down and actually reflect. So what is this serving? Who is this serving? Side events have been better. And I absolutely love the team of NFT NYC. Some of them are my friends. So this is not a criticism on anyone's on a personal level, but if I can't speak as a leader in this space and give some kind of constructive feedback, then nothing's going to fucking work, because in the future, we're already dying species in this Web3. People are leaving because there's so much backpacking for things that are happening. They're not working in the kind of bigger picture. Not every one of us can afford to fly across Atlantic and be at every one of these conferences. I can't afford it. I've spent all of my ETH on collecting all of your works, in fact, and anything that you launched and you brought it towards me, I bought it in the last 2 years. And this, like, Ricky's there. Ricky's one of the massive supporter of everybody. He can't be an NFTLA. He's got kids. So please back down from making people feel bad about not being able to join every single time something happens. We can pick and choose. We can be selective about where are the conferences who are actually honoring us. I'm not just a community builder. I'm an artist. Who sees me as an artist? Does that make sense? Like, we need to really, I don't know, reflect on ourselves as a community. What are we doing? Yes, of course, I'll rally behind every friend of mine and have them every success that they can achieve. But who's rallying behind me? Who's supporting me as a person? So we need to sometimes take our losses and sit back, regroup, come back, show up again. And every single one of us is showing up every day in our own capacity. And sometimes it's not the money. We don't have the money to be in these places. That's all I wanted to say. I'm here to support everybody, but please, when you talk about these things, think about the larger community, because it's not fair when you talk about people who can't be there and don't show up. Not all the Titans were in LA. I was not there. Ricky was not there. Q was not there. So yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. It just made me it's a bit rough, triggering to hear these things. But I do love you all.
Thank you, Art Jedi. And, just having the reach, for NFT London to go out to London was, just great for me to experience, to go out there to reach with, my friends that are across seas that that aren't able to make it to the States. And that's why I felt it was important for me as a networker in there to create the metaverse experiences. So then people can experience art from everyone globally and able to see it and share it with each other, because that is an important aspect. And almost, the thoughts behind the Novo Art Show, which, you're a contributing member behind, is, having that art being able to be put in an IRL gallery, which a lot of people haven't been able to do and haven't been able to experience. And you've been able to do that and show that off at NFT Paris, where you're able to show multiple artists, and able to help give love to other artists, which is this important factor in this entire space. And the culmination of speakers that Mike was talking about before. I'm looking for Art Jedi's artwork here within the catalog of Novo Art Show. And having, people being able to present and talk about it, it is sometimes a first and big experience for them. For people who have been in the space for a long time, sometimes that is the catalyst that they need. And having global events spurring up more and more, we have to find out who the true ones in the space that are going to survive, and including the collectors, like Mike was alluding to before. Is there's so many people in this space that unfortunately are getting eaten up by the negative aspects of it. There are scams that are going on, but then again, there are hundreds of people that are doing the right thing. I've seen it personally myself with the 1,000+ tokens sold to help generate income towards getting a PFP back to a community member that, works behind that CryptoPunk face. And another one here that's up speaking is Spotty Wi-Fi. Spotty, I'm going to try to get him and our power panel on a little later, but if his mic's working and he wants to chat, he was pretty much the first person that says, yo, I'm going to get you your CryptoPunk back. And that was pretty much me in between sobbing and tears saying, Spotty, I need a helping hand, and it is all right to ask for help. Spotty was there to help me in my darkest times and help just the communication wavelengths of getting the voices out there, not only on Twitter Spaces to artists, to collectors, but also helping, organize thoughts with business meetings, trying to get these things going with people that are global in time frame. Spotty, how we doing?
Hey, what's good, brother? Man, I'm good. I'm glad to see you, on the NFT NYC handle. Glad to hear your voice. Man, I definitely said we are going to get your CryptoPunk back. That was definitely, or at least that was my mindset. Whatever. However, I might have misspoke. But
we're gonna get you you said we're gonna get you your CryptoPunk back. You said that. Whatever it takes, we're gonna get it back.
Yeah. And it was a total team effort. Community effort. It wasn't even teams. It was just like everybody pitching in, whether it was retweets or tweets or just emojis in the spaces. People playing music, people coding, people coming up with drops. And, Dario spearheaded it, because I felt like a deer in headlights at the moment when I learned about what had happened. I think a lot of people did, because you go through, like, you don't know, like, well, I think a lot, first you kind of go through this thing of like, oh, is he getting a bunch of messages? I don't want to just text or reach out right away and be like, and I know he's going through a lot. And then you go through, well, like, what should we do? Can we do something? And you don't want to be perceived as like, trying to, especially if you're an artist or creator, you don't want to be perceived as like trying to, be be relevant or topical because you're helping with something. And Dario just was like, fuck all that. We got to get his punk back. And once that first domino, once Dario was the first domino, it was just like a chain reaction. So shout out to everybody that was there, that was a part of it. We had a lot of fun on the spaces too, you know, late nights, early mornings. And yeah, we're super happy that that Novo is restored, and that you know, the amazing things going on with the artwork and the galleries in Paris, and now being on a panel together, reunited in New York, is going to be special, man.
100%. And yeah, like I often wondered, like, does Dario have a twin? Does Spotty have a twin? Does, you know, Grateful Ape have a twin? Does Gwendol? Because like you guys were on spaces like all the time. I was gutted like the Tauntaun in Star Wars. I couldn't function and do anything. I was actively looking at my Twitter just because I was reaching for any straws of someone that can help. And still, even unfortunately with that, like there are still some naysayers that were still trying to scam and hack. You know, they saw me as a vulnerable, and they, you know, kept on trying to turn the knife. But there was a whole host of people without supporting love, concern, mostly for this well-being. And I was just honest with them. I'm like, this, if I don't have my shadow, like I can't walk in this Web3 world. The sun will not shine on me, and it will not be the same. It will not be the same effect. And that's pretty much where my stance was. And then it just went so fast. It was like day 3. It's like, oh man, like we're already halfway funded there. And like, even then I was still like kind of letting the dust settle, figuring out if any of this can come back to me. And then all of a sudden, like, all right, well, there's funding that is in another CryptoPunk wallet, Ross's wallet, and he was able to purchase the CryptoPunk. And it's still just like, I'm almost dumbfounded. Like, I don't know, it's still like foggy and not fully understood because it just went so fast. But it comes back to having core friends that were there in a time of need, new friends in there for a time of need. You know, like I remember Ricky O'Donnell down there. He sent a video over, and it was just like him and his daughter. And I'll go to the larger screen. And it was them like spreading out their elbows, just doing like almost like an arm exercise, just like, and he's just like, yo, you're not in a casket. Things will move on. And that was even before having my CryptoPunk. And it's just like getting messages like that got you through the hour, got you through the day, and wants me to give back. And that's why it's important to me to get to NFT NYC here, to get my friends on stage. For those of you who do or don't know, the panel actually on stage, active participation was all set prior to me losing my CryptoPunk. And I was just going to talk about people I met at NFT London, NFT NYC, and different aspects in people's careers. And none behold, it just kind of comes full circle where it's a culminative story that we'll be able to address on stage. But not only that, but in an entertaining way. Spotty, I'm wondering if maybe you want to hop on a spaces in maybe like 3 hours again here on NFT NYC. I'm not sure if you're free or if you have time to commit. What are your thoughts on that?
Let me double check, because I was planning on the one at 3.
Yeah, 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm at Central Standard Time. You're right. 3 Eastern. I should be talking at Eastern time. Are we good for that at 3 Eastern?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Then we're going to maybe pinch it down here on this spaces. You know, we've been jamming for 90 minutes. I know I have some requests to come up and speak, but I want to, you know, maybe turn this more into the power panel next in a couple of hours here, in 2 hours from right now. And I'll probably get another tweet going. But please take a look at the tweets that I put on the top of who you're excited to see at NFT NYC 2023. And if you can't make it, you know, the tweets, the things that you're looking forward to there. Also, if you want to drop an ETH address in there for some free Decentraland wearables. I was trying to send them out, but Decentraland is asking me to switch over to the Manic because they probably have so many wearables going out for Fashion Week. But really, really wanted to thank the EHEM Gallery and Greta in Paris for the time and effort she put in getting pretty much a party put up there with Pizza Dow, with Ledger Wallets, just IRL. It was up there for multiple days, for a week in there. We had tons of foot traffic, 400 or 500 people with foot traffic. Gwendol and Frank for pretty much writing the smart contract, setting up the web page, which all that stuff can be found on the link tree at either at Novo Art Show, which is a Twitter handle, or within my Twitter handle as well. There's link trees for all that stuff. The artists, as far as Dario is an artist. Art Jedi was an artist. Concept, who's listening down there, was an artist. Payment Studio, Studio Payment, excuse me, was an artist. Dr. Crypto is an artist. I Am Six, who we played some songs at before. All those artists, big shout out, big love to those artists. Art Jedi, hand up. What's up, my friend?
Hey, I was going to shout out all the people in the audience that I've watched listening in, but you did it already, and this is why I love you so much, because you're so inclusive. I have to leave because I'm getting call outs from another group hosting spaces at the same time. It's my friend Francine who's launching House of Web3, which is like massive. It's going to be massive, and so I've got to go support them. But just before I go, I have a question for you, which is, I'm going to ask you just 1 second. I do want to shout out to Car Chancer, Dr. Crypto, Ricky, my beautiful friend, Payman, Krista, Daph, Ramborno. We couldn't have done it without you. Big Chill, everybody who's been listening and who was there in those spaces. I remember those really late night DJing spaces, starving and unable to sleep because it was just so much fun, and Jay Lee and so many amazing friends singing, and it was just so cool. So I love you all. I've got to go, but my question to you is, what's next for our dearest friend apart from the conference? What's happening?
Oh, wow. Putting me on the spot. Honestly, what next? There's a lot of question marks. One, will I be traveling back into Web3? Currently, I'm back in the teaching because that's what pays the bills. I don't have a CryptoPunk I can fall back on and sell. I don't have a clone to fall back on and sell. So I am navigating if I'm going to actually continue in this Web3 world or if I'm going to be going into teaching. And that a lot is going to be determined on the networking that happens at NFT NYC, the networking that I can bring towards other Web3 entities and communication. So very much like you, Art Jedi, it is a call to action. It is a diversion point within the road. When I reached out to Dario prior saying I'm gutted, this is the end of Web3. Well, without my CryptoPunk, what am I going to do? Dress up, like someone else's like spotty Wi-Fi at these events and, walk around as a PFP that's not mine. I'll be happy to support him, but
Dress as me, Art Jedi.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's what it all entails, is what is next within this world and what it derives. And all I know is I've gotten to this point by being an active participant. I took the risk of buying a CryptoPunk pretty much on CryptoPunk's Discord and a MetaMask wallet, feels like years ago, and not knowing what direction it was going to go in. I took the risk of tapping into buying a meta pigeon from Artifacts and buying Artifact shoes, which turn into clones. I took those risks and they've paved the way to massive friendships, and I'm going to continue that way. So I'm going to get selfish, and I'm going to sell my name as best as I can towards people that are inviting for it. Here's a little bit of alpha for you right here, for the ones that are actually watching live and direct, and there'll be a tweet on this later today. Let me see if I can get this here. I have this, I'm holding a little thing right here in my hand and they go on Crocs as a giblet. And I have a whole bunch of these that I'm going to be handing out IRL. And it'd be cool to kind of get like a sponsorship out of all this, finding like a Crocs sponsorship, finding a Ledger sponsorship, finding a G-Gen Arcade sponsorship, finding a cybersecurity team that's interested in my story, creating a documentary about this story. Wacko Worm was down there listening prior, but he's going to be having documentary access to filming what is going on within NFT NYC and seeing how this story of from teacher to CryptoPunk man on center stage, CryptoPunk alien ape or zombie on center stage to a beacon of hope and movement. So there is a story that still needs to be told in this. I want to continue telling the story. It's an interesting one. It's my story, but a lot of people see themselves in aspects of my story. If it's hardworking, trying to find their way in there, if it's grinding like Spotty Wi-Fi is doing, getting on stage and grabbing the mic in every single occasion, if it's networking and trying to, see the possibilities of what the world can bring, if it's trying to pull a new reality out of a young dream like Mike Mango has done with trying to become an astronaut. I've stood in crowds, watched musicians on stage saying, I want to be that person. I want a mic drop. I want to be the inspiration in front of these people. And I've had that opportunity all thanks to NFT NYC. So NFT NYC is going to create more opportunities for me. And it's a good temperature gauge. It's a good barometer to see what's happening in this space. It's a good way of catching up with the people who are going to catalyst whatever's next in my life in any capacity. But all of it is a learning situation, and we're going to learn for what we're doing. I've learned a lot through this, and all I've learned through is through friends. I'm hopefully able to teach like I'm continuing to teach with the large amount of people who create Crypto Novo, because Crypto Novo is not one person. It's a culmination of all, man, almost 21,000 followers. And I'm trying to live the give. And remember, through the negative story that has culminated through getting scammed and hacked, there are tens, if not tens of thousands of good people in this space. We need to pin our hopes that those good people are still the pinnacle of what we want to achieve and not worried about what's happening in negative aspects and negative light. I'll be back on in about 2 hours. I'll be hosting another Spaces with the power panel that will be up on stage with at NFT NYC. There again, I want to thank everyone in the space who helped and contributed. Do have a couple theme songs by I Am Six. You can follow me on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Instagram, on TikTok. They're all in there. And this is a theme song that he did back in the day around Halloween with a song about the Novoverse. Thanks for joining. I'll be on. Check out the tweets, retweets, all that good stuff. And stay positive and love life. Peace. That's from Spotty Wi-Fi, by the way.